Hey everyone, so I'm Judd, and I'm here with Matt, and today we're going to talk about AI, super popular topic right now, and check cherry and how you can kind of connect the two, basically, with something called MCP. So, hey Tom, how are you? We keep things casual on the Check Cherry Live, so you can ask questions, chat, raise your hand, whatever. Um, I always think these are going to go so short. It's like, oh, there's only so much to it, and then we tend to fill up the hours. So we'll see how it goes. I've got some slides, and I'll do a quick demo, and then we're going to hand it over to Matt. You can now connect your CheckCherry account to ChatGPT, Claude, and more. So you probably already use CheckCherry if you're on here, right, to run your business, and you probably also use ChatGPT, Claude, or other popular models to ask questions about your business and that type of thing. And so with an MCP server, this is basically a special thing. It's called Model Context Protocol. I'm not going to bore you with the details. You can look it up on your own. But basically, you can just ask questions, and it'll securely look up your data from your CheckCherry account. Then you'll get answers or a draft or something like that. And so you could do things like, hey, if you ran my business, what would you change this week? You can look up the CheckCherry data or use it as a source. Sometimes you might specify, hey, look at the CheckCherry data. Or maybe it already knows stuff about what you've been working on. I like this one, the bottom one here, which is critique my packages from the customer's point of view. So I like that. And it's just, instead of taking screenshots and uploading stuff, I mean, you can do all this stuff already, right? Or copying and pasting things or having it go to the website or that type of thing. It just has access right in there and access as source. So you have access to your leads, sales, revenue, upsells, packages, your calendar, business coaching, and I think this is really cool. Also check Cherry support articles. So we've been working hard at improving our support articles for years. We didn't have them. Sam's really helped us with that. And so it'll also look up support articles. So you can ask it questions about Check Cherry as well. Just, your account, the settings, whatever it may be. And it'll look up that as well. And so a little deeper. So again, just the idea that you would have access to your whole business, leads, bookings, payments, everything. And it's not just one lookup. It kind of, the way it works is it kind of can figure out what it needs to look up. It can give you stuff. You can take action, give you advice, that type of thing. You'll control what it has access to, and I'll connect ChatGPT after this and kind of show you how that looks. And then basically, one connection works with Claude, ChatGPT, and other MCP, supported providers. So Matt had a good idea, which was to include a slide about what are the differences of these. So there's different ways to integrate CheckCherry right now. We're talking about the MCP server, the AI assistant, that type of thing. That's today. We've done stuff on Zapier in the past. Zapier, and so again, Zapier is basically like this no code, when this happens, do this type of thing, and you can connect a lot of different apps. It's really cool. And then we also have an API, and we had to create the API in order to do the MCP server. So Matt did a lot of work on that. It's awesome. And we'll be covering more of that in the future. And you want to use the API if you're doing like a deeper integration or something really larger scale, that type of thing. If you just want to talk to it with with Claude or something like that, the MCP server is super easy. That's the benefit of the MPC server or MCP server in my mind, is it's easy to set up, and you'll see. So we include this free on every plan. You have access. On the AI side, it might require paid plans depending on the provider, all that. Obviously, we don't control that. I think ChatGPT needs a plus and up. You got to pay them. It's just not the free plan. So that's worth mentioning. And so, again, you get a control, and we'll look at that. It's kind of boring. So, okay. So let me connect ChatGPT and show you how that works. So one, we have a page on our website on the marketing side, inside your account. So you can also type in here. We have paths now to settings. This is another area we've really been working to improve. But you could also type in, Chat GPT, and that'll connect an AI assistant will come up. And we've already been testing this in our Forever event, so yours is going to look a little different. But This is the key piece right here, the URL. That's what you're going to need from CheckCherry, and then we'll log in. So I'm going to copy that, and I'll go over to ChatGPT, and you got to go to, oh, there's a little thing in my way. Okay. You got to go to settings. Okay. Apps, advanced settings, and you got to turn on developer mode with, I don't think you have to do this with Claude. I think this is just a ChatGPT thing. Okay. And again, if you're watching this webinar later or something like that, I mean, we'll have support documents on this, but expect it to change. I mean, even, it just changes all the time. So I've enabled developer mode, and now I'm going to create an app. Okay. And so I'm going to call it CheckCherry. I'm just going to, and this is where we place the URL. Okay. Authentication is OAuth. Okay. I don't even know what mixed is. And then they have kind of a warning, because I guess they're worried about writing data and whatnot, just like, hey, do you understand that, there's other stuff, be aware. But this is really common, and this is the MCP stuff. So I'm going to create it, and it should prompt me over to authorize here in a second. So now I got to sign in with CheckCherry. And so I'm already logged in. It's showing my email address, the company name. Here are all the permissions. And so, maybe you're, want to say, hey, like, I don't want any write permissions. So write is basically like CheckCherry changing data in your account, or sorry, the AI assistant changing data in your account. You might want to uncheck that if you're a little unsure, or maybe you want that, right? You want it to be able to edit a lead or something like that. I'm going to enable everything, and then you're going to click authorize. Okay. And then it should send me back. Okay. And so then I'm all done. And so now, I mean, so I think that's the huge benefit of this protocol is like, it's just, I mean, that was easy, right? The WAWA stuff. And in your account, we've got like prompts to try. Fair warning, maybe some of these don't work well. I don't know. This is all new for us. Let us know, feedback, that type of thing. But you might just copy the prompt and then come over here. And again, this is the faux over event account. And so I might say, hey, give me your feedback on packages. And then it says calling tool, right? And I found the public service categories, and it's going through and just basically making API calls, so to speak, to different things. And we'll get a response. And then it'll give me some insights, And so there it is. So here's what's confusing. Too many similar packaging. It's all just, food for thought, that type of thing. So I'm not going to go any further on the ChatGPT. I think the prompts, try them out. If something doesn't work, or you found something that really does work, we're interested in feedback. We even thought about maybe putting like thumbs up and down on these, or having a way you can kind of share these things. I don't know. But worth knowing, and Matt will show us some other stuff, in Claude. I think kind of what we learned in testing this was Claude actually it seemed like it was better at some of the questions, right?
Yeah.
Creating graphs and stuff, and there's, it has access to things. So I'm going to stop share. It looks like we have some chats, and then we'll kind of.
Yeah, so there's a chat. One more time, please. I think that was about how to connect
Oh, you found it?
ChatGPT. So
Yeah. In your account, again, in the search bar, we've added what we call paths, and you can kind of like, let's say you can search for things like settings pages. So it's super quick to get places, but if you typed in Claude or ChatGPT or MCP, you'll see the page show up, basically. Connect an AI assistant integrations, and it'll take you to that page.
And we're going to do the same thing with Claude as well. So I'm going to, so in Claude, what you're going to do is, let me share my whole screen, I think.
And then Audie saying, can I collect open Claude? If anything that supports the protocol can be connected, is basically, we don't limit it at all. So, I don't know.
I would think so. I believe that it would work with that.
You just got to look up how to connect it.
Yeah, so
the
I'm going to share
MCP
my
tool.
whole screen here. And so in Claude, what you're going to do to connect it, um, same thing. I'm going to search for MCP to find that URL, which is just checkcherry.com/MCP, but I'm going to copy it. And then in Claude, if I switch over there, I can go to File or Claude Settings, at least on the Mac. I'm sure it's something similar on Windows, some kind of settings thing. And in Claude, you have to look for the connectors. And when you go there, then it says that it's been moved to customize. I don't know if there's another way to get there, but that's how I get there. I click customize, and it's going to show all of the things you're connected to here. Just click plus, add custom connector. And it's even a little easier on the Claude side than on ChatGPT. But basically, you just enter a name, put that URL. There's some advanced settings. You don't need to do anything, and you click add. I got a message that it already exists. I forgot to remove the other
Oh,
one.
hey.
But same basic idea. So once you do that, you're going to see this, and then you'll be able to connect. It's going to take you to the CheckCherry page to authorize, and I think it's worth just kind of looking at these a little bit more. But I'm not going to go through all these settings one by one. But one of the things to keep in mind with any of this AI stuff is number one, it makes up stuff. It does make up data. It does tell you things confidently that aren't true. So keep that in mind. It's very, very helpful, but verify everything that comes out of it.
Matt, the next model is not going to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So,
You just have to tell it, don't hallucinate or don't don't make
right,
mistakes.
right.
Try harder. But the other thing is, if you do give it right access to things, it might change things that you don't want it to change. It's probably reasonably safe, but if you let it edit your appointments, it might misread something, it might misunderstand something. You might tell it to change an appointment and it changes the wrong one. So do keep that in mind if you're giving right access to things. If you just want to have it read, that's a good safe place, and then you can update it later. But yeah, just keep that in mind if you are giving it access to everything. And just at a high level, kind of some of the areas that it has access to. Lots of booking data. Right now, this is only open to admins, but in the future, we may open this up even more if these tools become easy to use and widely useful. But right now, it's got access to bookings. You can let it see just the ones that you're personally assigned to, or you can let it see all of them. Similarly with proposals, you can say, hey, maybe I just want it to read proposals but not write to them, or maybe you want to let it do everything. Leads, similarly, appointments, expenses. And then over in the other thing are some other things that can kind of be useful, like more of like accessing your data. So things like your packages, like what packages you have in your account, what add-ons, what extras, who your staff are, user details, things like that. So, so all that just kind of to keep in mind what is there. And also keep in mind, if you do give it access to bookings, you are giving it access to your customers' data. So just keep that in mind. If you've got tight agreements with people that don't necessarily allow that, maybe you don't want to give it access to bookings or things like that. So just, use care. But once you click that, it's going to kick me back to Claude, and now I'm connected. And I can just go and start chatting with it. So, again, it's pretty much, you can do lots of different things. Some of the prompts in there are really helpful. You can say, things like what leads I got today, or what was the one we did earlier? Like,
We did a year-over-year comparison,
yeah.
which did not work well in ChatGPT, and it worked awesome. He got like graphs and all kinds of cool. How many,
Yeah. Let's see what it says here.
maybe it won't
And
work.
it's helpful to give it a little bit of context that you're talking about CheckCherry so that it knows to use your tools, the tools that you've connected. It may be smart enough to do that anyway, but I find it works better if you kind of are a little bit explicit with that. And so you'll see that it's kind of doing the same thing. It starts by searching the available tools. I think we've got something like, basically, I think there's something like 90 different tools that we've exposed to it. These are basically like API endpoints if you're familiar with that world. But what it's going to do, it's going to come in, it's going to pull a bunch of data across revenue, payments, leads, all this stuff, and makes a nice little like dashboard. To some extent, I mean, you can log into CheckCherry and get this too, but
Yeah.
it's helpful to kind of see just the type of data that it has
Well,
access to.
I want to add something, which
Mm-hmm.
is, if then now it knows about your year over year, right? So maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
going to use that data in the future to help consult you or something like that. I mean, it's also a way to get stuff in to
Mm-hmm.
memory or something like that. So I don't, I think this is also good. Reggie has a question. Is there a way to opt out for certain clients? The answer is no. We'll see if that comes up a lot. I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me thinks the problem with that is like, then I don't know, do we
Yeah,
just
it's
opt
kind
the
of hard to
booking
say where that
out? Like,
ends. I mean, does that
but
mean
now
that
your
they are
revenue's not going
included
to be
in your?
right. Now you're
Yeah.
booking, it's like, yeah. So I wouldn't expect that. I don't know. I'd be kind of, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how much that comes up. Reggie,
Mhm.
do you have a client that you can't, that you have an NDA with of sorts that you couldn't share with your own tools or something like that? I mean, I think in some ways it's similar to like you're sharing data with MailChimp, right? When you upload email addresses and
Mhm.
stuff, or, I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, it's a little different, obviously, but, kind of same idea in my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, and it's interesting. And then one of the things that I like, besides the, like I say, I mean, a lot of this revenue you can just get within your account directly, but it also does give you some, some tips or, just some information, like, oh, the big concern is past due balance, and,
In the
you can
demo
ask things.
account.
Yeah. What bookings are past due?
Yeah.
Whoops. And even if you typo like me, it'll probably come up with something good. Um, so, and it takes a little while to, depending on what kind of queries you're doing, it can take a while, it can be real fast. But yeah. You can also ask, we'll have it once this comes back.
Yeah, just take your time. So,
Yeah.
um, but I think I like the business coaching aspect, and I think that's really
Mm-hmm.
cool. I think we're really excited about the idea of writing to your account because then it's like quick to modify and make changes and all that stuff. We also have, I mean, as Matt clearly stated, like there's some apprehension there where we don't want people to mistakenly do things, or but it's kind of new tech is like this. There's
Yeah.
powerful, and then you're a little nervous at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But
And so it looks like it's kind of, sorting through all our tons of events and coming up with the script. And so, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's a little slow. And so it's got, oh, came up with the past due number, and it's coming up with a report of some of these things. And it looks like it's
Reggie just
making a little search thing. You can search your
yeah.
clients. And again, I mean, a lot of this stuff you can just get within your
We're
account
all
and
going to be
chat with this
prompt
if you can't find
engineers
it.
at some point,
Yeah.
Matt. Okay. Reggie says, I have some clients that are in the government and they sometimes require us to limit information to AI. Yeah, Reggie, you probably don't want to use it at this point if that's the case. We don't have a way to exclude it. And I don't know. We'll see how much that comes up.
Hmm.
Obviously, when things happen real frequently for us, I mean, we can find ways to make it happen, or maybe there's like an anonymized data, when it comes to the email addresses and stuff like that. But I don't, it
Yeah.
kind of it uh, prevents the tool from being helpful at some level as well. So Jake says, sorry, late to the party. Check Cherry available now as a connector for Claude. Yep, Jake.
Yep.
And you'll have to rewatch the webinar. We'll get it out soon. But basically, you can go to, if you search for MCP in the global search, you'll see kind of the instructions or how to connect it. But yep, it's available.
And then it made a little like UI for us. So, oh, this is how much is past due. Here's the clients, here's the due dates, balances, all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty flexible. Another thing you can do, CheckCherry does have a help center. You're welcome to just search it directly, but a lot of things, a lot of all of our help articles are exposed here too. Which, how do I, add packages to CheckCherry or something?
Yeah.
Um, you
You
can
know which
also,
one?
yeah.
How do I offer a paid in full discount? See if it
Oh,
gets that
okay.
one right. We just kind of added that one.
And so
Um,
it's going to have kind of a walkthrough of how to do some of these things. And what was yours, Judd?
can I do a paid in full discount with Check Cherry?
Paid in full
Let's see if
discount.
it comes up.
Check Cherry. Let's see if we have an article on that.
And so you were earlier you were saying like you were asking it for like sources and data and stuff as you were kind of debugging. Maybe it's worth kind of sharing some of that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Matt saying getting a weird error API 400 tools, customer prop entities. We'll have to take a look into that, Matt. I'm not 100% sure. When is that happening? Chat with us basically from within your account. Paste that. We'll handle on the support side. And also who you're using. You know, is it ChatGPT or Claude? This stuff's new, so it wouldn't shock me if we had issues.
Yeah, and so yep, comes with a how-to, manage payment settings, payment plans, and yep, that all looks correct to me. So
Does that look correct? Hey,
yep,
we've been working hard on the support articles. Trust me, it's been a lot of work, and it's coming. They're coming together. Yeah.
Yeah. And part of the thing, one of the things that the reason that we want to give it access to this stuff as well as the data is it just kind of gives it a more full picture of how your business works, what types of things are possible, and you can even ask it, for help on things like, if you are at the level of doing some kind of an API integration or things like that. The API article is going to come up and it's going to have a link to where you need to go. If you have, just a lot of questions can be pulled in here from here as well. But of course, just that we're not getting rid of our human chat. Always chat with us anytime.
No,
it's
just extra tools.
Just
more
extra
information,
tools.
more context. And I think also, I mean, a common something that's common that we hear from customers, especially when we go to like see them in person at trade shows, like, how do I get the most out of my Check Cherry account? And I think, giving it access to the support articles so that it could know what's possible might help. We'll see. Tom says, can I integrate with email and SMS? Can it add notes automatically?
So you can, so one thing you cannot do right now with the API or with the MCP is send an email out of Check Cherry. But one of the things to keep in mind with any of these tools is, and kind of one of the reasons that one of the things that made us excited about these is that you can have all sorts of different tools connected to your Claude or to your ChatGPT or whatever. So you can have your Gmail account, you can have your Google Calendar, your Google Drive, all that type of stuff. There's a lot of different tools out there now that do have AI integrations, whether they're built in or if it's something you need to add separately. But one of the ways that things really get powerful is if you have your different tools all hooked together. Then you can start to do things like, if you get a lead in and, somebody emails you and that information comes into, if that email is accessible in your AI tool, now you can pull that in and add a lead into Check Cherry, for instance, or, see if that lead's already in there, or things like that. So, one of the things, I think there was a question about whether you can add notes.
You add notes automatically. So.
Yeah.
What? I wouldn't say it's automatic, but you can do it through the tool.
Right. I believe so. But let's, to be a little bit more general, I'm going to say, what tools do we have access to in Check Cherry? Let's see what that comes up with.
And Reggie says, how about a draft or email SMS? I mean, it's possible. I mean, we'll have to, obviously we have deliverability concerns with people sending out tons of email and all that stuff. But we want to make it easy for you guys to do business. I mean, we just have to balance that.
Yeah. And so basically, what it comes down to, you can fetch lots of data about your event. You can add lead notes. That's definitely a thing you can do. Let's see. Let's say get my most recent lead. And kind of the nature of this MCP stuff is it is a little bit more like everything's kind of, it's kind of figuring it all out as it goes. Typically, if you're going to have like a more permanent integration where, say, you've got like a lead form on your website and you want those to go into CheckCherry, you probably wouldn't want to use MCP for that. Because it's just a little bit more aimed at like chatting back and forth. It's possible, but probably the API integration or the Zapier integration are going to be a better choice for that. So add a note saying called, didn't answer. We'll see what it
I haven't
does.
tried this yet. Does it work?
Yeah, I haven't tried this.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Tom, here we go.
Oh, wants to create a note. Okay, so it says it is. And then, we can set a follow-up date. Sure, 1 week from now.
I like that. See, so and you should get better over time.
Right. And let us know how things go. Like I say, this is the first time it's open to the public. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of changes, lots of. Let's see if it'll give me a link to it as well. Oh, that's to resume booking. Yep, and it made up an incorrect link. So, anyway, so again, sometimes it's useful, but verify. So, and so what else did we want to cover? Oh, maybe let's look at some of those prompts. So, a few ways you can get to those prompts. So if you search for MCP, as Judd mentioned, that's one way to get there. You can also go to Manage, Business Settings, Integrations, and find a lot of this stuff as well. So all the different things we integrate with, we've got, really this is just a link to our MCP page, but, feel free to click on any of those too. And there's lots of different ideas in there. Things like, what needs my attention? That one seemed to work pretty well. Let's see what that looks like.
No disclaimer. Your mileage may vary.
Yep.
Let's see.
And so what I liked about this one when I tried it before is, it pulled all the events, pulled all the leads, and then it flagged things like, ones that we hadn't, that hadn't been responded to or things like that. So we'll see what it says here.
Anyway,
so
I'm excited about all that.
Yeah, and so it flags things like, oh, this this proposal is expiring. That's good information. This one, proposal awaiting review. That means basically that you never approved it. You've got the review request feature enabled, but you haven't you haven't handled that yet. Similar like this, prep needed. It's flagging these. And what's cool is, if you do things, if you are playing with things like OpenClaw that run a little bit more autonomously, I would be, like I said, I'd be real careful about like adding data and doing things like that. But it will have access. Maybe you have it come up with a little like page like this that it, shows you on, wherever you want to see it. When you sit down on your computer or things like that. Lots of good information there. And then it has some information, act today, before Tuesday and Wednesday, leads, things like that. So this is all useful. Again, a lot of this you could get within your account directly, but what you can't necessarily do is tie this into other features, or other software that you use. So if you do use, other types of software, it's a great way to kind of take this and move it along to other things. So. And then it looks like it does have correct links this time, so you can even jump straight over to your CheckCherry account. Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think again, if you're using it and something works great, we'd love to hear it. If it doesn't work great, we're open to hearing it. We're kind of curious. There may be stuff we can do. There may, maybe there's stuff we can't. In terms of improving the integration. We're really hopeful that this helps you guys run a better business. I mean, I think that's why this is a priority, is because if you guys can run a better business, like, we're happy. That's what we're all about. And so we're excited. We think it's going to be helpful. It's new.
Yep, absolutely. And then a couple little, like, just some housekeeping tasks. So once you do connect, now it has access to your business, with all that entails. If you go to that MCP page and click Manage Connections, that'll take you to a page where you can see all of the all of the connections and who has access, and potentially revoke it. If I'm like no longer using something, or I've got, I had some little project I used on a website or on an open cloud or something, and I've stopped using it. You go ahead and revoke that key, and then that way you don't need to worry about somebody
Yeah.
having access to your
Yeah, a
system.
tip, like general good practice is not to have active keys open that you don't want
Hmm.
in
Yeah.
general. Yep.
And in the future, we may even have some kind of thing where we, eventually invalidate things without usage, but at this time they stay open until you revoke them or something. You can also go in and edit the permissions if you need to. So again, there's a ton of different permissions available. If you're like, you know what, I gave it access to my bookings before, but I want to change that, you can do it after the fact. So that can potentially be useful as well. Um, so yeah.
I like it. Are there any
And
questions or comments? Yeah, Audie, go ahead.
Uh, Definitely I have questions because it's something I've been trying to play with. Like I love my ChatGPT on cloud. I have like the $200 access monthly for them. No,
mhm.
seriously, because he has helped
Yeah.
me on close couple of leads. Because the problem I have is I think I'm not a really good salesperson, but I won't lie to you. Sometimes I just dump whatever they say. I'm like, hey, give me a reply for this. Today, he still helped me on close light painting. I don't even know how to do light painting, but I understand how to do long exposure, so I know I'll figure it out. So
Hmm.
definitely, this would be a good tool. The only thing I'm just gonna ask is, will it be possible whereby at least it can draft him or draft messages for you, not necessarily sending it? Is that something you guys might be adding to it? Or whereby you can connect, like your agent with it. Because I would like the option whereby you can send a reminder to people to select their design. And after they select the design and just send an agent to just follow the instruction because the way I have my template stuff connected to it, and you can just create that template for me, whereby it just saved me a lot of time. Then I don't have to deal to try and teach another virtual assistant how to do it just to fire them
Hmm.
a week later.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we'll definitely be adding all kinds of, there's a huge number of things we can add. Some things I think, like you say, different ways of, additional, letting it trigger things. Also, I think one thing that I can see us adding is more ability to edit things. Letting it be able to do things like edit your packages. Have it write package descriptions. Have it write automated message descriptions or automated message templates,
yeah.
things like that. Are all things I think are super likely. We just need to test it, make sure it works right. Even like questionnaire templates, I'd like to be able to do a lot of that through it as well, to just kind of help you with the content creation, writing things like that. But yeah, in terms of with design follow-ups and things like that, I mean, we do have a lot of ways to kind of automate that already. To some extent, I would say if you're pulling data outside of CheckCherry, you can also just connect your Gmail or connect any other tool to send emails as well. Because it's ultimately you're just looking to send an email. But yeah, we're definitely there's definitely
And
a lot of stuff.
question,
So
were you
yeah.
having AI actually design the template? Is that what you're saying? Like, hey, I
I
want to
won't
send
I
them.
won't mind basically like connecting an agent because like you can have different like Hermes or OpenClaw. You can have a design agent using for videos. You can use Remotion. When you put all the skills together, and basically you're just going to instruct it like, okay, because most of those templates they already have like once someone like the way I have it, once someone pick a template, they like put whatever they want, and it can go into Canva, and Canva is connected to OpenAI already, and you can just populate those
That's interesting.
information with
Yeah, I
it.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and right now, I mean, if you couldn't you just say, hey, grab this person's booking and the
Yeah.
template, and then if you have Canva connected, and this was the examples you were talking about when if both systems are
Yes.
connected, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would be able to, say,
But it wouldn't be
what's one of
automatic,
these
I guess. Is
bookings? Yeah, you could do like for, let's see, for that John Smith event, for that John Smith event, you know,
Give me a prompt for Canva or
give
use
me,
Canva.
or if you have Canva connected to your ChatGPT or to your Claude, you could you know, use Canva to fill out the template or whatever it is. You know, obviously that's not going to work since I don't have it connected, but yeah, you could definitely do some of that. Then you would have to upload the design to CheckCherry itself. But
and communicate with us.
yeah,
Let us know how
yeah.
you guys are using it.
Mhm.
We're interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So
Love it. I thought we might run short. Any other questions? They can also be unrelated to AI. You know, but I'm excited about this. Like I say, I think this is going to be a really powerful tool for many of our customers. And I love how easy it is to connect. I mean, I think that's, like I say, that's the, you know, really, really.
one thing I'll throw out to people: does anybody have anything cool that they're using AI for? You know, as far as their workflow or stuff like that.
Right. How do you use it in your business right now? Yeah.
For me, basically, like when I get stuck, I just like give it like, hey, what do you think about this? How should I reply to this message? And also, I think kind of think like I write English in like second language. I think of it like in my first language before writing, and sometimes people just misunderstand what I'm trying to say. So it kind of clean it up a little bit for me. That's one part that I use it a lot for. And sometimes I use Manus to like generate template and proposal. And then I just go into Canva like, hey, follow my brand spec. And you automatically then I go in and clean it up before I send it out myself.
Nice.
And it works. Yeah, it works.
I love that. Jake says he's using AI as his accountant, does all my tax prep for my business. So love that. And
Yeah,
does
we
it have,
on our
access
end.
to expenses? I forget.
What's that?
Did we give it access to expenses?
Yeah. Yep. It has access to expenses, so it can pull that. Yep. One thing that I have used Claude Code for is we have to file sales tax in different states, and some of those websites are just brutal to try to use. And so made a little thing to open up the browser and go fill everything out. And there's a couple clicks I have to like click the capture or whatever, but by and large, it does the whole thing itself. So it's pretty cool the things you can do with it.
Yeah, and another thing that might be helpful for people is to optimize your Google Ads. Yeah, Cloud is really good optimizing your Google Ads.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, nothing crazy. Just download the overview. It's gonna tell you everything, and like I've been playing with that a lot lately. So
Love that. Yeah. Tom says AI goes through my credit card statements and bank statements and creates an XLS file for me. Yeah.
I tried to get it to do that with my Bank of America account, and it was just it could not manage it. Their website was too bad even for AI.
Yeah, it's fun. It's all new.
Yeah.
And I think, you know,
Yep.
it's just
Figuring out what it works for, and
yeah, see what happens and all that stuff. And yeah, well, I'm excited. And then I think, you know, Reggie says what I don't use AI for. I'm not following that, Reggie.
I think he means he uses it for everything.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. And then we were thinking of doing another AI-ish Check Cherry Live in 2 weeks, probably. So
Yeah.
you know, where we kind of use more of the API and an AI tool to build a website, I think is what we talked about doing. So that might be a fun thing to kind of see how you can do that. You'll use the API, but not be a programmer and integrate Check Cherry in your website type thing. So we think that would be cool too. Tom says, when you put in this video, I need to see the connection info again. Tom, if you just chat with us, I can send you a screenshot after this. I've got a few minutes before, so just chat with us. I'll send you a screenshot within the chat. We try to get these up the next morning, basically, is how it typically. And
if you do search for the MCP page in your account and click the
search
connect,
for MCP or
yeah,
Claude,
there should be all the URL that you need there, and then how to do that. But
I think
yeah,
those
we'll get
instructions
this.
are right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for
Awesome.
coming.
Well, thank you, guys.
Again, we love feedback. Great job, Matt. Thanks. Good to see everyone. Okay. Have a good night.
Okay. Good night.